Gurbani, Mool Mantra, a prayer from secular by Sardar Ranjit Singh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਆਜੂਨੀ ਸੇ ਪੰਗੁਰ ਕਰਤਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਸੰਤ ਸਰਨ ਜੋ ਜਨ ਕਰੇ ਸੋ ਜਨ ਉਦਰਾਵ ਸੰਤ ਕੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ ਜਨ ਕਾ ਬੋੜ ਬੋੜ संत की निंदा मन का बहुर बहुर लगतार। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।
Now, Gita Path, selections from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chanted by Swami Atmapriyananda Maharaj.
अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञ सका भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधि किं प्रभाषेत किमाशीत व्रजेत किम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामं सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते। दुःखेष्वदुद्विग्नमनः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। यः सर्वत्र न विद्यते तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभं नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानि वशवशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते। यततोऽभ्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथेनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते संगात् संजायते कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहः विस्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति रागद्वेषवियुक्तेषु विषयानीन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्ये विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिपर्यवतिष्ठते नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावतय शान्ति शान्तस्य कृतसुखम् इन्द्रियाणां हि चरता यन्मनोनुविधीयते तदस्य भरति प्रज्ञा वायुर्नावा विभावसि तस्मादस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यानि सा सर्वभूतानां तस्या जागर्ति संयमी यस्या जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनिः आपूर्यमानम् अचलं प्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमाप प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति निकामकामी विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान् पुमान् शरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः प्राप्त नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यते स्थित्वाप्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमुच्यते ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे सांख्ययोगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः.
Population-wise, I think the biggest number of followers, I think Jesus Christ and Christian. I think why 1,000 million, isn't it? 1,000 million. Then Islam. Again, I think around 1,000 million. So big number. Then Hindu. Perhaps then, maybe Jew. Then maybe, I don't know, Jain. Jain and also the Jew. Oh, which is bigger population? Jain bigger. That is not, I know, very small. But they enjoy complete sort of freedom, no fear. I always make example. Look, very tiny community who follow Zoroaster. But no fear, no threat. That I think the Indians are central of greatness, respect, always. All have completely. Then of course, citizen. Very big number. I think mainly only in India. Canada. Oh yes, in America also. Nowadays some white sort of Sadaji also now coming. I had some in San Francisco. Oh, that body mainly.
There are 6 million.
6 million. So Indeed, I have read all the religious sort of traditions, in spite of difficult philosophical views, but all carry the same message of compassion. So I think this is the clear sign of the message of love, compassion is peace. And then compromise, tolerance. And in individual practitioner's case, contentment, simplicity, simple, isn't it? But sometimes people might be a little bit sort of, no, little was the way. Little luxuries sometimes, you see. Religious leaders, sometimes. Little bit sort of luxuries of life. That's actually not proper. And some Hindu lamas, I know, they are like very simple. So these are. So anyway, all religious same practice. So that's the basis. On the other hand, nowadays there are 7 billion human beings. Naturally, difficult location, difficult climate, difficult way of life, so difficult cultural heritage. As a result, some different mental disposition. Therefore, we need different distribution who have different will. That's very relevant. So it is necessary. We have different right of religion. It's necessary to give energy. One particular location, that doesn't matter. But all global level, we need different religious traditions. So, realistically speaking, we need all these different ways of approach, different religious tradition, different ways of approach. All religions aim inner peace, through inner peace, genuine, peaceful family, peaceful community, peaceful. Now, when I give talk, I always talk a little bit sort of panic. I think we must touch the reality. I think prayer, I think 1,000 years we can, but effect of the real world sometimes limited. A lot of wars, a lot of violence, still there. Some cases, worst thing, even name of religion, some violence, some wars. So it clearly shows, simply prayer, not sufficient. Whether we accept religion or not, once we accept religion, we should be serious. All the teaching, what we have, we should implement in daily life. So I myself, as a civil now, I try teaching Buddha should be part of my life. My whole way of thinking, way of life should go according to that teaching. Then that teaching becomes something living. Teaching remains book. Occasionally we read that and say that, but our real life not consider all these things. And effect very good, isn't it? So, just wherever I go, I always talk English. Indian, I always think, living in something where now for Ramakrishna, I think all major world religions live together in this country. Occasionally some problems here. Just understand. Say about big human population, some mischievous people always there. That's understandable, isn't it? But overall, I think this country really religious harmony is tradition. Still very much in the beginning. So we all ask brothers and sisters, we should make an effort to redistribute, to keep distribution and further promotion of religious harmony and make good example to the rest of the world. That is my wish. And also our common responsibility. Thank you. That's all.
Please remain seated when His Holiness leaves the premises. Others can leave little later.
What does it mean, Amen? The church was given, the bishop house was given, whole fisherman house was given. Nowhere in the world. This was a church. We had our design center. There we started rocket assembly and myself was doing that. And the bishop house was our scientist working place. And so friends, now Vikram Sarabhai Space Center has grown, ISRO has grown, and we have established fantastic, all the facilities, any type of rockets can be built, any type of satellites. When I think of this event, I want to tell you friends, when I think of this event, I can see how enlightened spiritual scientific leaders can converge towards giving reverence to the human life. Today, both of them are not there. Either Vikram Sarabhai or Reverend Peter Bharat. Today, Awareness Trust Vikram Sarabhai is not there. Reverend Peter Bharat Verira is not there. But those who are responsible for creation and making flowers blossom will themselves be a different kind of flower as described in the Bhagavad Gita. What Gita says, see the flower. How generously it distributes perfume and honey. It gives to all freely its love. When the work is done, it falls away quietly. Try to be like the flower, unassuming despite all the qualities. What a beautiful message to the humanity on the purpose of life reflected, the spiritual component. Now can we split this event what has taken place? That is, the religion transformed into a spiritual force. Through science, it happened in India. It happened in India. Nowhere in the world in the map has happened such a unique event, giving a church for sight. Can you think of? Anyone can think of. I search and say I am not getting. So friends, I would like to recall one more incident which commonly occurs in many parts of my country. I have witnessed that even when I was a young boy, 10 years, 1941, British India, in our house, periodically I used to see three different unique personalities meet. Akshilakima Shastriya, who was the head of the priest of famous Rameshwaran temple, and a Vedic scholar. Reverend Father Godal, who built the first church of Rameshwaram Island, and my father was an imam in the mosque. All the three of them, they have different attires. One will have turban, another have a gown, total gown, another had a tuft and all. So all these three people, different type of people, they meet. All the three of them used to sit and discuss the island problem. My place is island, and find solution. In addition, they built several religious connectivities with compassion. This sight always comes to my mind. Whenever I discuss the people, dialogue of religion, the philosophy of dialogue of religion, I see in my own hand. I have seen in my own eyes in our house. Alternately, the three houses will take place. How the three religions are meeting, discussing day-to-day problem. So from these two instances, what I said, church instance and my home instance, these two instances, what I have narrated, give me confidence that religion definitely can be bridged through spiritual components. We have spread such a glad tidings to every part of the world. And my talk is available in my website www.abdulkalam.com. Now the last point, now let us discuss the third important component of enlightened society, which is to achieve economic development for societal transformation. Indian economy is growing 6% per annum. And we have all difficulties now in the economic sense. We have a vision of spreading the economic growth throughout the country through a program called PURA, that is which envisages provision of physical, electronic, knowledge connectivity, leading to economic connectivity to all the 600,000 villages we have in the country. This will uplift the quality of 350 million people who are below poverty line. And we have indicated how the PURA can be established in 7,000 villages. So friends, I have given distinct profile for the nation of the world in 2030. How to do it, a mechanism. 10 points I have given. A world of nation where the divide between rural and urban, rich and poor, developing nation narrowed down. A world where core competence of each nation are identified and mission synergizing the core competence of different nations with the economic advantage. A world of nation where all the students, all the societies are important education with value system. A world of nation, where the governance responds transparent and corruption-free. And then a world that's prosperous, healthy, secure, devoid of terrorism, peaceful, happy, and continues to sustain those parts. So, realizing the World Vision 2030, which I proposed, I have already discussed the World Forum in a forum which should be discussed in G20. On this day of remembering Chicago lecture, all the spiritual leaders may consider in thinking together the evolution of an enlightened citizen, particularly the strategy to implement the thoughts embedded in the World Vision 2030. So friends, in conclusion, I would like to recite the peace prayer, which I have composed for this great occasion. My prayer for peace. O Almighty, create thoughts and action in the minds of the people of the globe so that they live united. No objection. O Almighty, bless my people a path of life with righteousness, as righteousness gives the strength of the character. Help all religious leaders of the world, and to give strength to the people to combat the divisive forces. Guide the people to develop an attitude to appreciate different viewpoints and way of lives and transform enmity among the individuals, organization, nation into friendliness and harmony. Embed the thought society is bigger than the individual in the minds of leaders and people. Finally, oh God, bless my people to work with perseverance to transform the world into a prosperous, peaceful and harmonious world. My best wishes to all the participants of World Week for Peace and Harmony, success in their vision of developing a roadmap for promoting universal peace and harmony. May God bless you all. My talk is in my website, www.com. If you have questions, suggestion, you can send me.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama will now bless us and offer his benediction to the congregation.
Respected, long time my sort of dear friend Abdul Kalam, I consider him more as a scientist, experienced scientist. His family background, Muslim. Then eventually become scientist. Then become president of the most populated democratic country, and also a country where I think in the past, in world history, I think the most sophisticated philosophies is to come from that country, India, Bharat. Christianity, Islam, these come from outside of India, but all these major world religious traditions live together in this country. So I always see telling people, India is the living example. Religious, I say the harmony is something not only ideal, not only idea, but actually exist in this country. I think poorer section of people may be more honest, more trust each other, more wealthier, more suspicion, and sort of jealousy, distrust. So the word harmony and peace, harmony entirely based on trust, friendship, friendship based on trust, trust based on honest, truthful, more open-hearted, compassionate heart, then trust comes.
then genuine friendship come, then harmony come. Suspect each other, jealousy, fear is just opposite of harmony, isn't it? So in any way, firstly, you see, you really carrying wonderful sort of missions in education field. Ramakrishna, wonderful. Please carry. At the same time, you see, Kasoda, I hope, you see, you should, I think, carry some research work. How to introduce in a modern education system about moral ethics. Now here you see some one sort of the problem or one sort of factor. Just I mentioned to you secular ethics. Here we have some disagreement. So that I want to share with you. Thank you very much. If my talk too blunt, too much frank, then I apologize.
Mankind, not for any religion, not even for his own religion. Because man was the best manifestation of the divine in this world, according to him. Yet he has been called a Vedantist, an Advaitist, a nationalist, internationalist, positivist, monist, pantheist, and even a Marxist. He was certainly all these, but above all, he was a humanist. He was a man profoundly human and profoundly divine, who became all things to all men, that he may build his dream of a humankind without frontiers. Hence, religious dialogue is a must today, and humanity has taken giant steps towards this goal. The pilgrimage of many religious leaders to Assisi in Italy in October 1986 was an event where I had the privilege of accompanying our Indian religious leaders at that time, Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, and others. On that occasion, Pope John Paul II spoke to the gathering. Our gathering today is an anticipation of what God would like to develop history of humanity to be, a fraternal journey in which we accompany one another towards a transcendental goal He sets for all of us. The real spiritual people have been brought everywhere, as Vivekananda says. Their hearts are universal and they cannot exclude anyone from their mercy. Let us think of one Mother Teresa.
Years of applied spirituality to engineer this new civilization. It's also up to Muslims to give birth to something that the world is waiting to see. This is the anniversary of 9/11, 11 years ago, when some terrible events happened. Events that left Muslims. When truth comes, falsehood vanishes. So we rely upon these spiritual laws to give us hope. But we must also serve that truth. And the truth we're speaking about is the reality of divine oneness and the absolute mercy that imbues every detail of reality and every human soul. We're all returning to Him one way or another, by a short road or by a devious road. And to end with a prayer very beloved in the Islamic tradition. Oh my God, you are peace, and from you comes peace, and to you is our return to peace. Thank you very much.
Osei Shalom Bimrumav, Tuyasei Shalom Aleinu, Kol Hachayot B'Kol HaOlamim B'Mru Amen. Call upon the source of peace to make for peace in our hearts and in the hearts of all beings in every dimension. And we say Amen. Namaskar. I'm very happy to be here, very honored to be here, and I owe this to a couple of people that I want to thank first. Swami Atmarupananda and Sister Brahmaprana are the reason I think that Maharaj heard of me and invited me. but the reason I actually made it is because he said or written in his book on Buddha and his message, and bring it into the context of Judaism. I'm going to do this through a Jewish lens, and I want to make it very clear that there is no official Jewish body that defines what Judaism is, or what Jews are supposed to believe. So what you're going to hear from me is my understanding of it and my idea. And I want to begin by telling you a story that comes from the Talmud, the anthology of rabbinic teachings from 2,000 years ago. And this is a story about a man named Acme who had an oven. He was a baker and he bought an oven and he wanted it to be approved for human use, to be kosher. And one of the things that rabbis have to do is they have to investigate these things and decide whether one thing or another is fit for human use. And the rabbis investigated and they decided it was not fit.
Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. I have to speak about a Hinduism perspective. What is important in the Hinduism, the one point that is said, is yat pinde tad brahmande. What is there in one microcosm, one individual, that is there in a totality. So if we see so much of conflicts and so many problems and warlike situations all the time, are we really surprised? Because what is there inside of individuals, that alone will manifest in a totality. It can't be something different. One day, a boy from school returned home and he came back with a black eye. You know, he must have had a fight. So the mother asked him, "Who gave you that black eye?" He said, "Nobody gives anything free, you have to fight for it. What is in one is there only outside." And when the individuals are like that, we should not be surprised to see all this. This is called Yat Pindeta Brahmande. Now, we hear that there is so much of corruption. We also hear so much of greed, that greed for power and all that which is there. And therefore all these problems are there. Greed and selfishness and all. Vedanta or Hinduism says, more fundamental cause of all this is the spiritual ignorance. Bhagavad Gita says, Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. People's understanding is veiled by ignorance, and therefore all these delusions and confusions are rising. Now, one is the spiritual ignorance of the highest reality, highest truth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang saranang gacchami dhammang saranang gacchami sanghang saranang gacchami. Our respected chairman of these sessions, most respected Swamijis, dear sisters and brothers, good afternoon to everybody, and I mean really good afternoon. And I can't think of any other afternoon to be a more good afternoon than this afternoon. What else could be more beautiful and more auspicious than this afternoon? We have so many wonderful people, so many religious teachers, leaders, seekers of truth and lover of peace from different religions, from different corners of the world, have gathered in this beautiful Dharma hall to think, to share, to explore how we can create peace and harmony in the world. So where else, when can have better afternoon than this afternoon? So I would like you also, all of you, to be mindful of the present moment. Sometimes we may be in a wonderful situation, in a beautiful place, holy place. When we are not mindful of this present moment, we miss it. Our mind wandering here and there, and we miss. There may be so many saints and sages, so many enlightened masters may be there, but we miss. So please don't miss this afternoon. This afternoon may not come again long time.
Professor Mohammad Suheyl Umar was supposed to deliver a talk on peace, harmony, and the religious other, some observations in the context of religious tolerance. The challenge is big: how to create a third way between secular pluralism and the religious exclusivism with their capital E, and how to articulate an appropriate theological conceptual approach to the other, to do so without undermining the integrity of our own religious self-definition, and to do so in a manner that strengthens and complements all existing attempts to establish openness, tolerance, mutual respect, and fruitful dialogue between believers in a world of religious plurality. In my view, it is the perspective nurtured by Islamic spirituality that enables us to uphold the normativity of Islam without detriment to our universalism. And it is only true universalism that can generate a transcendently ordained tolerance which carries with it some divinely revealed sanction. A tolerance that is not the outcome of a sentimental desire for peaceful relations between the members of different religions or perspectives within one given religion, but one which is deeply rooted in the recognition of and respect for the holiness that lies at the core of all faith and wisdom traditions, all religions. In our opinion, a universalism that does not include particularism is itself particularist and exclusivism. It excludes exclusivism. Since the 18th century, a view that has emerged is that if religion were to be true, why are there Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and other religions with different messages? According to this view, the multiplicity of religions is therefore proof that all religions must be false. The multiplicity of sacred forms has been used as an excuse to reject all sacred forms. The fallacy of this argument lies in that it identifies the expression of the sacred with a capital S within a particular religious universe with the absolute itself with a capital A, and since there has been other expressions of the absolute in the other religious universes,
the miraculous advancements in science and technology provided us light-like means of transportation and communication. As a result, physical distances have no bar to meet the people of different nations, cultures, and religions. Our world is shrinking, but unluckily and disdainfully, the distances of our hearts are widening day by day. Instead of developing mutual harmony and faith as well as peace, we are spreading hatred and hostility, and thus ignoring the values of harmonious living and coexistence. The blind and madness of nuclear weapons is a clear indication that the human race is proceeding towards its formidable funeral procession. We must bear in our mind that it is only humanity which can co-enjoy the people of different faiths, cultures, and nationalities. Jain Acharyas declared that human race is one, ego manusya jai. Swami Vivekananda also propounded oneness of human race on the basis of the Upanishadic Vedanta. The differences of caste, culture, and creed are not only superficial, but mostly they are the creation of man. The second and foremost problem of human race is the advancement in all the walks of life and knowledge. We could not sublimate our animal and selfish nature. We have already forgotten the divine aspect of humanity. the animal instinct lying within us is still forceful and dominating our individual and social behavior, and due to this, our life is full of excitement, emotional disorders, and mental tensions.
We may possess everything: health, wealth, wife and children, knowledge and skill, power and glory, but we can still be the most miserable creature if we lack that gift of the divine which does not depend on any other gift and on which all other gifts depend if they are to be real blessings for human beings, and that is peace. Human fullness is incomplete without peace, whereas even the one who lacks everything else can still have peace within and peace with all beings, which in fact constitutes happiness. And I just take one example because I don't want to go into all the other religions. The Vedas were deeply aware of this, and thus of the constant necessity to invoke peace with all the power of the Shanti mantra, the recitation of which is the beginning and the end of everything. Nothing is achieved by external discord or internal unrest, and nothing is accomplished in the world or in human life unless it is grounded in peace. Before I begin to deepen this theme in a very brief reflection of mine, let us see the kind of world in which we live. His Holiness the Dalai Lama reminded us this morning of the contradiction that we, as I speak for myself, publicly confessing to be a believer, but the contradiction, the numerous contradictions that I live. We talk endlessly about respect for the rights of the human person, but attacks on the dignity of the human person keep on increasing as never before. All people aspire for peace, while conflicts between peoples never stop and are often sustained by easy access to various types of arms.
Dear Swami Atmarupananda, dear Venerables, Excellencies, dear brothers and sisters, I feel very honored and grateful to be here today to speak and introduce the Museum of World Religions to this audience on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. This is really a very auspicious occasion, and I'm deeply grateful to Swami Atmarupananda for inviting me to come here. This museum is the Museum of World Religions in Taiwan is unlike any other museum, perhaps, in its founding. Master Shindao is a Buddhist master, an ascetic practitioner who spent 10 years in meditation and then also 2 years in a cave. And when he finished this long period of meditation, he emerged from his retreat and he said to his followers, there were not too many followers at the time, he said, we have to create a museum of world religions. The reason is the following. If the religions of the world do not get along together, this world will not go on to exist. Now, what is the vision of the museum based on? For Dharma Master, the vision of the museum comes from the Avatamsaka Sutra. Very briefly, this is a story of Sudana, a pilgrim, a merchant's son, who pilgrimages through all the worlds to find enlightenment. And Buddha Maitreya counsels him and says, you have to visit all these different good friends, Kalyana Mitras, or teachers. They will teach you about enlightenment. And so he visits 53 of these good friends and finally comes to Maitreya's tower, and there has a glimpse of the universe that is from the enlightened point of view.
I had the good fortune of meeting Swami Atmarupananda when I participated in the 10th anniversary celebrations we've just seen at the Museum of World Religions in Taipei, and grateful for that opportunity because it led me to Delhi this morning. I'm also delighted to share the session with Dr. Maria Abito and to promote the work of this extraordinary museum in Taipei, which shares a great deal in common with the Museum of Tolerance, and I'm very proud to say that our museum was an inspiration in the formation of the Museum of World Religions. With some pictures, as a picture does tell 1,000 words. This is at the heart of our museum, a beautiful sculpture by José Sacal from Spain, surrounding Holocaust survivors. And this is Dr. Terence Robbins, one of the Little Rock Nine, and the first African Americans to integrate schools during the civil rights movement. Museums are the repositories of memorable stories. In our objects and their creators, in our programs and the community members who benefit from them, in our institutional histories and the people who built, developed, and continue to sustain our institutions today. We build museums to protect that which is too important to be lost or forgotten. For the Museum of Tolerance, nothing matters more than that which defines us as human beings and what we bequeath to future generations. Stories put an emphasis on our shared humanity. They personalize history, build understanding, and create empathy. Museums can use storytelling to share authority, not only as storytellers, but as listeners, providing platforms for others to tell their stories as well.
Ideas, they were seeds, living seeds, not concepts, not just passive ideas, but like sparks of fire, seeds which grow into huge trees, or better, sparks of fire, which for some time seemed to be inactive, but then they began to kindle material around them and grow bigger and bigger until I think one day the whole country will be a conflagration of Swamiji's ideas. Swamiji compared his own ideas to a corrosive substance, that is, truth he compared to a corrosive substance, and his own ideas, being an expression of the truth, are that corrosive substance, which burn their way through, in spite of whatever obstacle is presented. And that we find from the very word for truth in Sanskrit, the word satyam, the word meaning truth. What is satyam? Truth. It's that which has sat, that which is. That which is untruth is that which is not, that which only appears to be, but that which is truth. That's satyam. And as the Mundaka Upanishad says, Satyameva Jayate, the motto of modern India, Satyameva Jayate nan-ritam. Truth alone triumphs, not untruth. But no, that is still a vital teaching, a vitally important idea that the Swami Vivekananda spread in America. Something in his time which was radically new, something which people had not heard before. One can argue, and some people have, that, well, how can you say that all religions are true? You say that all religions are true, so my religion also is true, and then you say, yes, of course your religion also is true. And then I say, well, my religion teaches that my religion alone is true. And if my religion is true, then that also is true, and so you have a contradiction. But no, when Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna said that all religions are true, what they meant was not that they believed that every teaching of every religion is true as it's stated, but that by following any religion sincerely, one comes to the same God, one comes to the same truth, one comes to the same reality.
Revered Sweetanandaji, Gautamanandaji, monks, friends. Just now I was listening to Atmarupanandaji's nice talk, and one thing which hit me, that in America he said many people are declaring themselves as spiritual and not religious. The scenario in Europe is completely different, especially I'm talking about continental Europe, and especially so in Switzerland where I live, but they are also, as the experts are telling us, that in last 20 years, people who are declaring themselves as Christians, 94 thinkers, you see, are paying tribute and Vivekananda in that booklet. That is important. It's because almost 20% of these thinkers have a world stature. So that carries some significance. To evaluate Swamiji's contribution today is not easy, because in so many years after his passing away, the world has changed. Environments have changed, so it is not very easy for us, especially the younger generation, to estimate his contribution. To have an estimate about this contribution, we have to mentally do what the medical dictionary calls ectomy, cutting out of certain organs to see what is happening because of this. Rajaji, that means Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, has done this. I am referring to the booklet again.
I should say a few years back, would evoke the images of lion roaming in the streets. And when I was posted there 5 years before, the devotees in Ranchi came and asked me, Swamiji, you are going to South Africa? I said, what happened to that? It's a nice place, I hear. No, lions are roaming in the streets. I said, yes, lions are there, of course. They call it big five. The big five animals are there in the game reserve. When the apartheid was introduced by the ruling white race, India made a particular rule that no one can visit South Africa. In the same way, South Africans cannot enter India. I heard from the seniors in their passports, it was really stamped that not allowed to enter South Africa. So there was an embargo by the government after the independence. They thought some of the policies adopted by the white rulers were not proper, were not in justice to the people. So that's why the South Africa was kept in some sort of a hidden way, and where our forefathers, you find historically speaking, the eastern Bihar areas were in drought. And there was drought in Tamil Nadu also, Chengalpet, Velu, and some other parts of Andhra Pradesh. At that time it was called Madras Presidency.
We had Chairman Maharaj, we had Swami Suheyl and other monks and dear friends. I just little before got it verified from the volunteers that Swamiji had a firm belief that it would do good for Indians if they imbibe the positive qualities of Japanese without abandoning their own national characteristics. Some of you may know that Okakura Tenshin, the famous exponent of traditional Japanese culture, had gone to India to invite Swamiji to revisit Japan and deliver his soul-stirring message. There were also invitations for Swamiji, even from the highest Japanese authority, the celebrated Meiji Emperor Mutsuhito. In the least, this shows that Japan occupied his thoughts even to the end of his life. Vedanta Society of Japan, started in 1959, became officially affiliated with the Ramakrishna order in 1994 and began functioning as a full-fledged organization under the leadership of a monk of the order. We would like to believe that thus Swamiji's last wish of doing something for Japan was materialized. As a result of all this, thousands of Japanese have at least become acquainted with the names of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. Some of them have also studied the literature and have thus been impacted by their message of peace, harmony, and spiritual wisdom.
Orphan children of Indian origin. Still this ashrama is there. They have a temple, a beautiful temple in Penang. And later we see the mushrooms, the branches, private centers coming up in Malacca and in Ipoh, in Jelapang, in Sarambam, in Kulawang, all these places. You will see the good temples, Sri Ramakrishna, very good temples are there, and devotees are there. They meet together and discuss. We also go there. So the Swami from our Kuala Lumpur also, he visits. It is spreading. It is spreading. Very devoted people they are. Every day there is a puja. Every day they sing Khandana Bhavavandana. And similarly in Malacca, Ipoh, in Saramba. Saramba also a very good, very organized center where private center is there. So that is how in what we see in the Southeast Asia, Malaysia is very promising. Singapore we know in 1928, some of the admirers, devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, they went to Belur Met and requested. So the branch was started in 1928. So the center is also started for the Indians, schools for girls as well as for boys, for adults education, like that. It went on and on. That's what we see in Singapore.
11th September, which we are celebrating since the last 2 days, it has become a red letter day in American history for 2 reasons. Why I am referring to American history is just day before yesterday I have returned after 1 month's tour of America. So I had to address many meetings there. Therefore immediately this thought came to me. This 11th September has become a red letter day in the American history for 2 reasons. Swami Vivekananda addressed the world religious leaders on September 11, 1893, as you all know, and became a world figure by uttering the memorable words of universal love and brotherhood, saying sisters and brothers of America, which you all know. The other second reason is the worst tragedy of September 11, 2001.
Swami Vivekananda passed away in 1902 at the young age of 39. His personality and unique intellectual powers were a splendid blend of Indian tradition and modernity typified by Western science. He had an unmatched understanding and grasp of past Indian philosophical ways of thinking, and at the same time, deep sensitivity to the social problems of India of his day. He combined the idealist and the practical points of view in a way no one else has achieved for many centuries. In his writings, Swami Vivekananda saw a special role for India in the world on account of its particular gifts. As Swami Atmapriyananda has recalled from Vivekananda's writings, each race has a peculiar mission to fulfill in the life of the world. Political greatness or military power is never the mission of our race. India's gift to the world is the light spiritual. Swami Vivekananda's understanding of science was extraordinarily deep and perceptive. In a talk titled Reason and Religion, he identified the 2 key characteristics of science as the passage from the particular to the general and yet more general, and seeking explanations of natural phenomena in terms of causes internal to the phenomena, not external to them. He then generalized these hallmarks of science to become basic requirements for any explanation of any aspect of human experience, both of the external world and of the internal world.
Swami Anandananda from London came, and also an academic from Cambridge, Dr. Alchin, who had spent few years during wartime in India and who translated some of the books of Tulsidas into English under UNESCO to address the gathering. I am most delighted and privileged to participate in this well-organized function. Being a chemical engineer technologist, Swami Vivekananda had said that you cannot talk about religion to hungry souls. I am going to dwell on how science has helped in making available more food, vegetables and fruits, how science has helped in making available quality water, even from brackish water and even sea water, which is relevant to us in India with 7,000 kilometers of the coastline. A primary need of human beings is to have food with proper nutrition so that a healthy body can contribute to peace on earth. We need to appreciate that we are growing more food globally with significantly less land. We are confident that even when the world population goes from 7 billion to 10 billion, we will be able to produce adequate grains, vegetables and fruits with even lesser land and lesser quantity of water, as is evident even today. This has been possible through great advances in biological sciences leading to hybrid seeds, better management of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Imagine our fate if fertilizers in adequate quantities were not available. Imagine if benign agrochemicals were not available. We have herbicides and weedicides which even at few grams per hectare can systematically get rid of weeds and herbs. This is particularly important.
One of the greatest hallmarks of this particular session of scientists and technologists, they have brought great peace by exactly sticking to their time schedule. If you had not, because lunch is approaching, that would have been a great disturber of peace. So I should thank both of you, being scientists and technologists, to be exactly in time and on time, thereby bringing great peace to the organizers, particularly Swami Atmarupananda, who was getting peaceless seeing the earlier speakers going on and on without any reference to the watch. So this is a word of thanks.
मैं ये जो चार अक्षर हैं उसके बारे में आपको कैसे आवाज में मिलते हैं उनके बारे में बता रहा हूँ. Okay, thank you.
In short, the meaning is Nada itself is a universe. It's called Nada Brahma. And it is only one of its kind, like Ishwar or God, who is one. There are various ways to approach Him, seek His blessings, and enrich our lives. And these our lives based on the everlasting principles of truth and good deeds.
Dear friends, I really don't know what I'm going to speak because I've not really prepared the speech. So, when you talk about world peace, or world need for peace and harmony, I didn't know what to speak, but I thought when having come here, all I can say is I'm a reasonably spiritual person, and it so happens very strangely, my mother-in-law's family is totally into Ramakrishna mission. And it so happens that when I came and sat next to one Swamiji here, he spoke to me in Tamil. Then I said, this must be Gautamanandaji. So he she said, because he keeps on talking about Gautamanandaji, Guruji, Gautamanandaji, Gautamanandaji. So first day I had an opportunity to meet Mr. Gautamanandaji. And it so happens, my mother-in-law's younger brother is my secretary. So he was talking to Swami Atmapriyananda and Srikant, he said, Srikant, if you don't mind, this is Ramakrishna mission, so I'm not booking you business class. See, this is Ramakrishna mission, you should go with the cheapest class, you said. I said, okay Ganesh, no problem, book me the cheapest, no problems. So that is no problem. So I'm very happy to be here in this World Peace Meet. And all I can say is, cricket is a wonderful game, sports and cricket. I don't have to talk about one of the greatest cricketers the world has ever produced, who's been a former captain and who's sitting just right behind me, Mr. Kapil Dev. And it's great to be here. What has cricket done? I can talk about cricket and sports, but I can talk only as cricket because there's a little bit of cricket I play. As you all know, cricket is probably the most unifying factor in a country like ours. You talk about peace and harmony through sports, it's nothing like cricket in our country. Cricket is the only game where the richest of rich, the poorest of poor, caste no bar, creed no bar, money no bar. Everybody will be watching the match together. So that is one thing that cricket brings in, peace and harmony. The whole world yesterday must have been praying for Yuvraj Singh. And when he hit the first sixer, the entire world must have said, hey, fantastic man, Yuvraj is there. That is what cricket can do. That is what sports can do for peace and harmony, entire world. All I want to say is, peace and harmony. I'm not a great Swamiji, but I can only say a few things, what spiritual things I've learned. Incidentally, I'm supposed to be a qualified electrical engineer. I did my electrical engineering from College of Engineering, Guindy. And what does science teach us? Science teaches only one thing. Energy can either be destroyed nor created. It can be transferred or transmitted. I repeat, energy can either be destroyed nor created. It can be transferred or transmitted. If we go by that scientific logic, if science is true, if these things are true, then ultimately there must have been ultimately everything must have been as well. If I stand, if this table has got potential energy. When I speak, it's sound energy. When I move, they call it kinetic energy. They call it sunlight, solar energy. When the wind blows, wind energy. When the water falls, tidal energy. Everything is all about energies. Can I call up my wife and say, hey, Vidya, how are you? I'm just finishing my speech. You're coming back? How can you do this? This looks like magic. Again, it's all energies and frequencies. The ultimate source, that means, if you go by simple logic, all these tables, chairs, you, me, Kapil Dev, Gautamanandaji, Shantamanandaji, all the ladies here, all of us must have ultimately come from one source of energy. Earth, Jupiter, Mars, everything. The entire universe then must have come only from one source of energy, because energy can neither be destroyed nor created. So there must have been only one energy that must either be present ever in this universe. And that energy is what we all call God. And in Bhagavatam, in Hindu literature, Hindu scriptures, they call it the primordial energy. If you go through Bhagavatam earlier on, it never says Narayana, it never says Shiva. It says that primordial energy, Virata Purusha, that is the primordial energy. That primordial energy, some call it Narayana, some call it Shiva, some call it Allah, some call it Jesus Christ. Because God can be only one, right? That primordial energy, so if all of us understand that philosophy through science, that there's only one energy called God, then there will always be peace and harmony in this world, ever. And that is what cricket has also taught me. And that's why I keep on telling people, create positive energy around you. The more positive energy, the more positive you are, the more positive things can happen. And I can assure you only one thing. You can never see a more positive cricketer than Mr. Kapil Dev. Man, at 17 for 5 against Zimbabwe in the 1983 World Cup, captain of Indian cricket team, everybody would have said 17 for 5, you know, we were 17 for 5 in about 6 overs, no Kapil? Because I was out for the 0 first over, that's why. Gavaskar out for the 0. So we were all out for 0, 1, 2, 3, typical Delhi pin code, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So Kapil Dev comes and walks in, 17 for 5. What did we expect? A captain coming at 17 for 5, another 50 overs to go. You would have said, boss, let us get singles, ones, twos, you know. Then we'll try and get about 150. Then we'll try and make a match out of it. After all, Zimbabwe, we'll try and match America. But Mr. Kapil Dev's dreams are different. 17 for 5, first ball, thumb, middle of a 4 runs. And that is Kapil Dev for you. And that is positive energy. So my dear friends, if you want peace and harmony, like what our gentleman, our Pandit said, through music, through cricket, whatever it is. Again, what is music? Music is energy. It creates that peaceful energy within you. That is why all of us listen to music, correct? So please, please create positive energy around you. And when you want to think of positive energy, just think of 2 people, Kapil Dev or Virendra Sehwag. Everything will be fine. I don't have anything else to say. All I can say is, I'm really happy to be a part of this particular meet. And there's one more theory to spirituality when he says spirit, going by the 5 elements. This also I read in some spiritual book. There are only 5 elements in this universe. Water, earth, wind, fire, and ether. During the cosmic dissolution or delusion, whatever you call it, everything gets submerged in water. Earth gets submerged in water. And that water gets dried up by fire, which must be the ultimate, not our one sun, the multiple suns. It gets dried up by fire. It goes into the air and then goes into ether. And that ultimate spirit is what God is again. That's why we call it spirituality. That's why you say play with the good spirit. Play with the positive spirit. Come on, have a good spirit. Be in good spirits. Why do you say good spirits? Spirit everywhere. That is what Swami Vivekananda or Ramakrishna mission had. They were absolutely connected to the supercomputer called God, through spirit. Good luck and God be with you.
Namaskar, good evening. You know, when you have an opening batsman, you don't need a captain. Sometimes these type of batsmen don't even listen to the captain. And that's why sometimes we don't listen to the God also. But today is an important day in a sense. People like us, we believe in sports. And sports teach us only one thing. Play the game, the spirit of the game. Winning and losing are there. I think the 5% of the people of this world can rule the 95% of people. No, I don't believe that. We 95% people believe in peace, believe in harmony. And that's important.
Om Namastri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapyaharani. See, we had to select a chairperson for every session. I was really wondering whom should I put as a chairperson in this session where 2 great sports personalities are going to be there, and I quietly slipped my name in the list. So that's how I landed up on the stage. Of course, I can claim to be a cricket buff in one sense. Now, you know, Chika, that is how Srikant is called, he told us he was advised to travel with the cheapest class, but by that he has reached the costliest place where such luminaries are present, so gain has been his and not anyone else's. Now, Srikanth himself is such a dashing batsman. Sunil Gavaskar often used to describe how you would watch with exasperation from the other end. Srikanth would have hit a boundary, and that would have been a very risky shot. Sunil Gavaskar would go and advise him to calm down. By the time he reaches, he would have whacked the next ball again to the boundary. So Sunil Gavaskar used to speak about him. So of course, some of the people in the audience really don't know him. Just a word of introduction. Now, both of them represented India in the game called cricket at the highest level. Both of them are very much loved and respected all over the country and also in several parts of the globe, because not only they were extremely exciting cricketers, very brilliant players, and both of them were known for their extraordinary straightforwardness. They would talk from their heart. They would have their emotions on their sleeves, as they say. Both of them are very great cricketers, exceptional personalities. Normally, you ask me privately how to bring celebrities. It's not an easy job. But they came just because in the name of Swamijis they were invited. Of course, someone amongst us, Sri Ravikant, worked very hard for this. But still, it was really nice of them to have come for this occasion.
Today, we are coming to the end of this 2-day mega function for the celebration of World Meet for Peace and Harmony. I have been associated with this ashram, this Delhi Ramakrishna mission, from the day one of my starting my career in Ramakrishna mission. I joined here under Swami Ranganathananji. And I have been seeing and observing and enjoying the development of the center since all these 56 years. And these last 3 years, whenever I come, I am in for a shock. Something else there can come up which nobody could have expected. So a few months back when I came, this whole thing, this library building and this auditorium building were under repair. And now after another 1 month I come and see, it is something which I was not there at all. New building has come up here. It appears like that. All this is the effect of the tremendous enthusiasm that young Swami Atmarupananda is taking. And all my prayers and best wishes for his continuing enthusiasm and carrying on this work of Swami Vivekananda at the center. After expressing this, in this valedictory section, I have yet to just say a few words only. Swami Vivekananda is the word that will energize everyone for every type of good action.
Commend and congratulate the Ramakrishna Mission for having held such an important seminar at this juncture, to which they have had a galaxy of speakers. I have just now looked through the brochure and I'm quite astounded by the number of people that Swami Atmarupananda was able to get together for this seminar. And this is in connection with the 150th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, for which a national committee has been set up under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. And we intend to undertake a large number of functions in India and around the world to celebrate this occasion. Could lay the foundations for the entire interfaith movement that began in Chicago in 1893 and that carries on to the present day. The acceptance of and recognition of multiple paths to the divine. I think this is tremendously important. Who are we, tiny creatures in a speck of dust in the cosmos, to lay down that the divine can appear only at this time and in this manner and in this shape and form? It is prima facie, it is unacceptable. There are billions and billions of galaxies in the cosmos around us. How do we know where and in what way the divine has descended? Brahmevidam amritam purustat, Brahma pashat, Brahma dakshinachottarena, Adhaschordham japrasritam, Brahmevidam vishwamidam varishtham. This magnificent universe with billions and billions of galaxies. Who are we? We live in a tiny speck of dust. What we can say is, this is what we have understood of the divine. I can say that for me, my religion is the best. But I cannot say that because you do not follow my religion, therefore you can be tortured or murdered or blown up or persecuted or prosecuted.
Respected Dr. Karan Singh, revered Swami Gautamananda Maharaj, other respected and dear brother monks, other very distinguished guest speakers, other participants, delegates, friends. It has been a remarkable experience these 2 days. So first and foremost, it has all been possible to the boundless grace of Sri Thakur Van Swamiji. So we offer our humble pranams at their lotus feet. Actually, it began more than 2 years ago when we were corresponding with the Secretariat of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. It took more than a year to get the confirmation from their office. So we got it when I was sometime in some other part of the world last year. And that really set the ball rolling. That's when the real preparations started, because to have a world meet of this dimension, we need a very central personality. Of course, Swamiji being there, he is the highest inspiration. It is done in his name. But then at our level, when we invite speakers, we need someone at the helm, someone of undoubted credibility, a great messenger of peace, whose life itself is an extraordinary exhibition of the idea of peace and harmony. So that it was a very great beginning when His Holiness very kindly agreed to be part of this and to inaugurate the first session. Then, of course, slowly we had to look for different speakers. Several of our friends in India and abroad, many helped in sending us the names. So after quite a lot of effort, we could contact a large number of people. In fact, many others whom we contacted couldn't really make it finally. So finally, the program, session by session, it was drawn up. And not only that, the idea to really expand this concept of peace and harmony and to include different perspectives. So that way, it was really difficult to get the appropriate personalities, speakers. So it is really very, very kind and thankful to, I'm very thankful to all those who really agreed to be part of this great event, the speakers, particularly our friends from America and several other countries. So it has been a very great, rewarding experience, very humbling experience. Not only that, in each session, those of you who attended all the sessions would have observed, in each session, we could discover something very, very extraordinary.
क्या है, ज्ञान कर्म भक्ति क्या है, हम न जाने योग क्या है, ज्ञान कर्म भक्ति क्या है, सफलता की रीत क्या है, सफलता की रीत क्या है, स्नेह अंतर में छुपा है, स्नेह अंतर में छुपा है, अब वो से मुक्त कर दे शारदे माँ अमर वर दे, शारदे माँ अमर वर दे। पास तेरे आ सके माँ,